That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? So there is a Star Wars show coming out that I have been ridiculously excited for ever since they announced it. They announced Star Wars The Acolyte back when they announced Shogun years ago. And that is the one Star Wars thing I've been super pumped about. Couldn't wait to see it, all this kind of stuff. Then, they started putting out trailers. And I got to tell you, I have not been impressed with the trailers. Look, I am no Star Wars hater, but I just don't think the trailers have been all that good. Now, they did put out that clip the other day showing the fight scene, and we talked about it on the show yesterday. That's the best thing they've put out so far. That was a really good clip. I'll give them that. It's just that the trailers look really shaky to me. It doesn't feel like I'm in a Star Wars universe. It feels a little too clean and polished, like a cable soap opera show or something like that. It doesn't have a 24 frames per second kind of film feel to it, which is I thought they should have done. So I've gotten very worried. I think, let's just say I've gotten worried about The Acolyte. Well, the first reactions have now come out. And here, before I read them, let me tell you this. I know for a fact, because I know a number of these people, that a number of the people whose reactions we're about to read are not fans of Disney Star Wars. I just want you to keep that in the back of your head, that there's a couple of, I'm not going to put a spotlight on them, but there's a couple of people whose reactions we're going to read have not been big fans, particularly of the Disney Plus Star Wars stuff. Save the Mandalorian. But a couple of these people who are about to hear their reactions are not big fans of recent Star Wars. Let's see what these first reactions are for Star Wars The Acolyte. They're going to start off, this comes to us from the direct, and they start off from a guy who I've had on my show a couple of times, Gizmodo's Jermaine Lucier. He's great. He writes, beholden to nothing except being Star Wars, The Acolyte soars. It's an interesting, fun, character-driven mystery with real stakes that you care about, bolstered by all the fixings that make it Star Wars. Saw the first 2 episodes and loved them. By the way, a number of these people have seen the first 4 episodes. Some of them have seen the first 2 episodes. So it's kind of mixed. Why some got to see 4 and some got to see 2, I'm not really sure, but that's the way it is. That's what Jermaine said. Next up, comicbook.com wrote, I've waited so long for The Acolyte, and I cannot believe how much it's living up to my expectations. I love the first 2 episodes. It's so exciting to see a new, well, old era explored in live action. Leslie Headland did a dynamite job fleshing out these characters. I'm obsessed. By the way, Leslie Headland is one of the main reasons I've been excited about this. She was the showrunner on Russian Dolls, which is an incredible series. And so I got really excited that she was coming over to do this. Anyway, let's keep going here. The Movie Podcast wrote a little bit more of a mixed thing. 4 episodes into Star Wars The Acolyte, and it's a mixed experience. The lore hints at Knights of the Old Republic potential, yet the pacing occasionally lags. While the fight scenes are engaging, they often feel misplaced. Hoping to see stronger performances and a clearer narrative direction soon. Then we move on to Screen Rant, who wrote, Star Wars The Acolyte gives me Kill Bill vibes. Every episode left me wanting more, in a good way. We've seen so much about the fall of the Jedi, but this show explores what the Jedi were like during peacetime, which is quite fascinating. Amandla Stenberg is outstanding. Perry Nemiroff wrote, I've seen 4 episodes of The Acolyte, and thus far, it's a very big winner. The cast of characters, the heavy emphasis on practical effects, the stunts, how they're exploring what it means to be a Force user, and how the Jedi Order operates, it's all working quite well. Amanda Stenberg is the headliner a story like this needs. She's got her hands full with this one, and she soars tackling the challenge. I could also watch her command the screen during fight scenes for hours. The precision and grace, which we saw a little bit of on the clip yesterday, which makes the combat exhilarating to watch, but also functions as beats that speak to who she is and how she chooses to operate in the given moment. Another writer from Screen Rant wrote, The Acolyte is fantastic. It captures everything that is great about classic Star Wars while feeling new and unique. The fight scenes are phenomenal and the visuals are stunning. With an intriguing mystery and a top-notch cast, this is a show every Star Wars fan needs to watch. Then from Slash Film, Peter Surrett over at Slash Film wrote, saw the first 2 episodes of Acolyte, and I loved that it felt so much like classic Star Wars, while at the same time feeling new, fresh and different from anything we've seen before. The action felt movie level, so excited to see. And then Comic Book Resources, Ben wrote, yeah, I think The Acolyte's going to do well with fans, especially those who want an easy entry point into new Star Wars stories. Ironic given the massive volume of High Republic books and comics released last year. Anyway, it goes on and it goes on. The thing, again, the reason this has really piqued my interest as somebody who has not liked the trailer so far, is again, the fact that I know, I won't say which ones, but a couple of these people I know are not modern Star Wars fans. And yet they seem to love this thing. Now, there's another little bit of a asterisk we have to put on here, which is this. Disney Plus shows don't have a problem starting strong. Even Obi-Wan, which you could kind of feel it was starting to fall apart in the second episode. But the first episode of Obi-Wan, I thought was great.
So good.
I thought the first episode of Obi-Wan was so good. And there have been a couple of other Disney Plus series, either on the Star Wars or the Marvel side, that I ended up not liking, but I thought started well. She-Hulk. She-Hulk, I thought, started strong. I really loved the first episode. And then by the end of it, I really didn't like the show. So I just want to throw that up. I am not saying that's what's going to happen with The Acolyte, okay? I'm just saying that maybe we should take context into consideration here that we've seen Star Wars and other Disney Plus shows start strong. Still, knowing the pessimism that some of these people have had about this show, knowing the pessimism I have about the show, I like what I'm hearing. I mean, listen, Chris, I at least got to say this. My interest has been waning for The Acolyte, right? I went from being super stoked about this for years, building up to it, to those, honestly, to me, the trailers were so flat, I could physically feel my excitement level lowering day by day for The Acolyte. Hearing this reaction, particularly from people who have not had high expectations for this show, I got to admit is regaining a bit of my enthusiasm here. I'm hoping I'm into it. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Wellness Company. Okay, so you wake up with a scratchy throat, congestion, runny nose, and cough. You know your body. You know you're getting sick. So your choices are tough it out, get sick and take time off work, or hope the doctor can see you this month, or wait 2 hours at urgent care and sit in a room full of sick people, or open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to the doctor-recommended prescription. Start on the right meds and nip this in the bud now. Your medical emergency kit is not a first aid kit. It comes with doctor-prescribed meds to treat over 39 medical issues. Strong antibiotics for infections of all types, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, bronchitis, and so much more. Plus, a doctor's easy guide so you'll know exactly what to take and when. There's no waiting to see the doctor, no waiting at the pharmacy. It's all in here. Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in just minutes. Your kit will be rushed right to your door, and you can get 15% off at twc.health/Campea and use promo code Campea when you check out. That's promo code Campea at twc.health/Campea. What do you make of these first reactions we're hearing?
These are great reactions. I particularly, I really trust Perry. And so that gives me a lot of hope for this.
Yeah.
And that fight scene I thought was phenomenal. I thought that was really, really fun and cool. And I thought if that's what this is going to have a ton of, that's what I'm here for. I want to see some really cool, badass Jedi fights, especially with what Lee Jung-jae is delivering there. He just looks so cool. He looks like such a badass in this. That being said, I have been burned before. I don't trust and love anyone. So the first 2 episodes, I love that they're great. According to Perry, first 4 episodes, really well done. This is also an 8-episode ordered series.
Yes.
And we've seen this happen time and time again where the show just does not know how to stick the landing because it has such a short runway to do so.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the biggest problem that Disney keeps running into, is having these really short order seasons. Tell your story. Tell the story in the amount of time it takes. And because it's streaming, and we've seen this with some of these shows, sometimes they can be an hour-long episode. Sometimes it can be a 30-minute episode. You know, you use the episode as you need to. But I want you to tell the story and not be kind of taken out at the knees because you have only 8 episodes to do it. And that is my fear of what could happen here. But I'm going to go in cautiously optimistic because Star Wars, you always got to have hope. You always got to have hope that they're going to deliver. And I want it to do so well. I'm on the opposite end. I've really enjoyed what I've seen so far of this. I know it's not been everyone's cup of tea.
You've liked the trailers.
Yeah, I've enjoyed them because I don't want them to tell me too much. I don't want to know too much about this. And I feel like there's a lot of potential here. It's just that 8-episode order that is the thing that is really making me nervous about the whole situation.
You know what's funny? One of the things I hate about Disney Plus, hate, is
Loathe
that
entirely.
you want us to take you as serious must-event watch television. How about not these bullshit 36-minute episodes? Like, if you want it to be serious appointment television, like House of the Dragon is, like Last of Us is, why don't you give us appointment television runtimes? But I just watched Sugar.
Ooh, yes, on Apple TV.
On Apple TV.
I just started that.
And I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 35 to 40-minute episodes. And here's the funny thing. I had to sit back and go, wait a minute. The episodes, like I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then I was going to the next episode and I saw the runtime. I'm like, oh, this is a short one. Then I looked at the runtime of the ones I'd watched. It's like, they're all 35 to 40. These episodes did not feel like 35 to 40 minutes. Like for some reason, Sugar, starring Colin Farrell on Apple TV, those episodes feel like fully fleshed episodes. Whereas Disney Plus with their 35-minute stuff, it feels like, wait a minute, I feel like the show just started. Wait a minute, They haven't even gotten into anything. Every episode of Sugar felt like a true chapter of the story. Disney Plus has not figured that out yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the runtimes of the episodes of Acolyte are. I certainly hope they're longer than the bullshit 30-minute episode nonsense. At least I hope it is. I don't think it is, though. I think I remember them saying they're going to be between like 30 and 45 minutes.
30 and 40 minutes, yeah. That's what CBR says.
Now, I think they're going to launch with the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Which I am,
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But listen, I just got to say, as somebody who has been losing my interest due to the, I think not great, in my opinion at any rate, not great trailers, and I've been losing my interest for the Acolyte, hearing from some people who have also lost interest in the Acolyte saying that they've seen the first 4 episodes and absolutely love it. All right. Okay, I'm on board then. I'm on board. I'm back on board until your incompetence kicks me back off. I'll jump back on the wagon until your own ineptitude kicks me back off. I mean, so I'll go in with a little bit more expectation, I think. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about these first reactions from the Acolyte? Again, listen, keep in mind, even though Disney has killed it with some Disney Plus shows, right? They have WandaVision, first couple of seasons of Mandalorian, Andor, one of the best things they've put out. They can stick the landing, but a lot of times they have not. They have started strong and finished weak. So I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.